Hey everybody, it's Tim at Broken Dice, bringing you a quick little channel update. Uh, Not much going on, and that is by design. I'm working still on my Normans, um, getting ready for a a project for the the Normans as they progress through Italy and into the Byzantine Empire, and Sicily. I think those would be great little campaigns to run, little scenarios and battles. I don't have a Byzantine army yet. I have to do a little bit more research. I have a lot of stuff on the Normans, so they'll be fine. I mean, I've got plenty of Dark Age models to fill in the gaps if there's anything lacking. Um, but the Byzantines, not so much. That's going to be something I'm going to probably have to wind up doing from scratch, and I want to make sure I get the right mix to go with these against these Normans, because obviously they were one thing decades before and then they became something else decades after, but I want to get right in that sweet spot there when the Normans were invading the Byzantine Empire, um, and Sicily and southern Italy. And yeah, I think that would be some interesting games, and I think the Byzantine armies of the time would be very different. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to do some research on it. I've listened to some historical videos on the topic, but to actually collect models that are appropriate for the time period that I'm doing, that's something I don't have information on. So that's what this project's all about, and it's more like towards the end of this year that I'm working towards that. So again, this summer is all about patience, uh, not being into a big rush to get projects finished, enjoying a variety of things this summer instead of just hunkered down in here grinding out miniatures day after day. Um, I don't want to do that because that's what I do in the wintertime. And I'm afraid I'm getting to the point where burnout is quite a possibility, and I would rather forestall that with some patience now and the opportunity to get out and get away and then come back afresh. Like, say, weather can kind of get kind of iffy in late September, October, and really start cranking it up back up then. Because I'm afraid of burnout, I'm afraid at this point in time in my life where I'm much older than a lot of the community, um, that if I get burned out and I put my stuff away, might be the possibility that it's put away forever, and I don't want to do. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But yeah, I don't want to get all doom and gloomy. I'm not doing much painting today. I've got the ringing in the ears really, really bad today. I mean, it's like a full on fire alarm in my ears and my head and stuff. So it's very hard to concentrate to paint. But what I have been doing today with the grunt work stuff, putting on the Vallejo ground effects and that kind of stuff. I've got the shield transfers are on order. I'll get the base colors down on the back of the shield. You got to paint them white so you can put the transfers on. So they're the LBM transfers, by the way. Can't wait for them to come in. Once I get this group of Normans finished, I'm going to be really researching and looking into the Byzantines of this time period and what their armies looked like, what they were called, how they were organized, all that kind of stuff. That it's going to take me some work because it's really something I've just kind of got just a very shallow knowledge of what it was like. I'd really want to do something more in depth. So when I make my purchases for this time period, they will be the correct models and the correct like organization of that time period when they were facing off against these Normans. Okay, that's enough of this. Hope all your projects are going well. Like I said, I'm going to try to be patient and grateful and not get into too big of a hurry. Again, I've never wanted to turn this into a job or turn this into a moment where it's all drudgery and just work and I just don't want that. I just don't want it. This is not supposed to be a job. It's supposed to be pleasurable, and I'm afraid that if I grind all summer, by the time fall rolls around, when I really start cranking this, I just won't have the passion for it, and so I can kind of see it come along. So I'm going to take that ounce of prevention and just dial it back now. Maybe do a video once a month, maybe do a video maybe once every 2 months when I've got something actually done to present. So, and I think that's the goal I'm going to make, because what was I listening to? Steve on the Plastic Crack podcast. He said something like that, and it kind of got me thinking, because I've been thinking about this kind of stuff for a while. And he said that he only was posting things that, when he wanted to and when he had something that he thought was worthy of doing. And I thought, you know what? Instead of just throwing something out every day or every week or something like that, and then forcing yourself to finish a project just so you have content for your channel, I think is detrimental to a lot of us when we're thinking about our hobby and stuff, because I think it's mutating our hobby. It's changing the way we look at it, and I want to keep it pleasurable, and that's what I'm going to do. And I want to thank him for bringing that up, because I've been kind of thinking, I didn't know what it was I was wrestling with in my head, but when Steve said that on the Plastic Crack podcast on their last one, they were talking about it, and I thought, yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. Post something when you have something worthy of posting, and if it takes you time to get something to that point, good. And that's what I'm going to do. So, again, this video has went 8 minutes long, kind of way too long for no more than the hobby stuff. But I think it's important. Sometimes we need to take a step back, and sometimes we need to crank it up. And at this point in time, for me, it's dialing it down a little bit. Just work on a thing that you really want to work on, and don't make a big deal out of it. All right, that's enough of this. Everybody stay safe, stay well. I'll talk to you here in maybe a couple of weeks when maybe I've got these guys done, and they'll be worth showing, okay? They'll be worthy of your time to view them. Everybody stay safe and stay well.